folks, it's me, Brian. It is New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2020. This is the last day of the year, and I have made it to the end of my challenge for 2020. I've had at least one unique drink per day this whole year. Coincidentally, I never had this, a Corona. Even before this year started, I said to myself, I'm not gonna have a Corona because they give me headaches. And that's one beer I won't drink along the way. So I've had this Corona in my house for quite some time, probably over 5-6 years to be honest. And I've stopped drinking them a while ago. And like I said, coincidentally, I haven't had it in 2020, the year of coronavirus. So long to 2020, so long to this beer, because I'm gonna get rid of it. No one drinks it. But I would be remiss if I didn't at least speak about the year. I wrote down some notes too. So let's get to it. It all started about late 2019. I said to myself, Brian, you sure like to drink. You drink nearly every day. Why don't you just have a different drink every single day? Your wife got you that Sip magazine, plus you have that little brown book of drinks. So why don't you have a different drink every day? And why don't you record it? Why don't you make yourself a channel? I said all of that. I really did. While on the treadmill, I remember. So I said, hey, you only live once. Go out and do it. And so I did it. I started with the Rob Roy cocktail on January 1st, 2020, because my wife had given me Balvenie 15-year-old Scotch for Christmas. And I love Scotch. And I thought to myself, well, let's make a cocktail with this stuff. So I made the Rob Roy. And it's basically 2 ounces of the Balvenie or any Scotch and sweet vermouth and bitters. And I actually didn't like it. I like Scotch straight or on the ice, or I found out throughout the way I like it in the blood and sand, but I didn't like the Rob Roy. And thus that was my first video and the start of my voyage. That video, I introduced myself as Brian. I didn't say Prost. I said cheers. It was quite crude. The video was taped by one of my children. It involved no editing at all. It kind of looks awkward at the end, but it was my first video nonetheless. And I knew of some beers that I would like to try, and I knew of some beers that I've already had. So right off the gate, I just start having stuff that I've had before, like Chimay, Yuling, Milwaukee's Best, Light, and then some drinks that I knew how to make prior to this year that were pretty simple, like the Screwdriver and a Cape Cod, because I've had those before and they were pretty easy to make, 2-ingredient cocktails. As I said, there was no video editing, there was no text, there was no picture-in-picture like I like to do today. I said cheers and I said Scotch throughout my first number of videos. But it wasn't until like the middle of January when I first started at least putting text on my videos to say what the drink was, you know, if you're watching the video. And then I started to say Prost. And I look back at my videos, I started saying Prost on January 7th. And it was history ever since. I'd say Prost at the end of all my videos or right before I'm supposed to take my drink. I finally started to get some music in April. Let's see, I started my first intro video in April also. And then, all these videos were made without a mic like I have right here. So the audio was pretty bad sounding. So I finally broke down and bought myself a mic in July of this year. And so now all my videos have the mics on it. And it wasn't a pandemic when we first started. You know, I think back to those days and I was still doing the things that I normally did, right? I have children, so I was taking them to their athletic events, taking them to other extracurricular activities. I was eating out in restaurants, traveling, saw my folks, stuff of that nature. All that just went in March, and the pandemic hit. But I remember saying in one of my videos, or in the description, the show must go on. So I kept at it, even though, for the most part, we were stuck inside in March. I had to, every now and then, go out to the store with masks on, making sure not to touch anything, sanitizing my hands and the products that I bought when I got home. So, and we didn't even think it was going to be that long. I remember in March thinking, oh, maybe a couple weeks. Here we are, December, we're still in it. And it's almost even, it's worse than it was in March. But the show went on and I kept having my drinks. I did some interesting things throughout the year. I had some drinks like barely after midnight to satisfy my one drink a day. So I'd have a drink around 8 p.m. Then have another one at like 12:05 just to satisfy it for the next day. Also tried to ensure or to get the viewer to understand that I actually made and drank that drink on the day that I publish it. I would try to say the score of like a random game, or like if there was something that happened in the news that was noteworthy, some random events, and I would try to say it, or either sometimes I taped my videos in front of the TV so someone could tell, okay, yes, he did drink that on July 12th because there's the game that occurred on July 12th. Like today. Today is the 31st of December. Mississippi State is playing Tulsa in the Armed Forces Bowl, or whatever it's called. Don't even ask how a 3-7 Mississippi State team made the bowl. But they were actually winning. I got the score right here, 21-19 in the fourth quarter. It's probably nearly finished now. But I would say things like that to make people realize, oh, he really is having a drink on that day. And I did. Every single drink I had every single day I had a different drink. I didn't pre-tape any videos. I was hoping I wouldn't get sick at all because that would throw a monkey wrench into things, and I didn't get sick. I even had a medical procedure that I worked it around. So I had like a light beer the day before at like 12:01 a.m. And then after the procedure, I had something very light, like a wine. It was that Country Red, that New York wine, in the evening. So I even worked around that. I worked around traveling. I had a couple of drinks while traveling on the road, not driving, but while I was on the road and in a hotel. So I had to bring beers along with me because I wasn't gonna make cocktails along the way. So I worked around all that sort of stuff. And here I am, December 31st. What else do I have here on my notes? So, oh yeah, so I used to say, stay safe when the pandemic started. And as the pandemic continued and we were stuck in it more and more, I used to finish my videos with stay safe and stay sane. You know, I want you guys to stay sane. I know it's difficult. It's been difficult on me, difficult on everybody. But try to keep your sanity throughout all of this. Find something that you love, do it. Find a new passion. My passion is these drinks. And I guess the pandemic is a great time to pick up drinking, right? But I've always been a drinker. That's how I came up with my name. I like alliteration. So I looked up words relating to alcohol and found the word bibulous. And I was like, wow, that describes me, and there's alliteration since my name is Brian. So, and prior to this year, you know, I used to drink like the same beers all the time. I used to have the same drinks, if you will. I had like the basic stuff. I had tequila in my house, rum, vodka, gin, and I would just mix these things with the same thing, like orange juice or Coke or Sprite or ginger ale. That's all I did. I did not know how to make any drinks at all. I didn't know how to make a sour or to make a daisy. I didn't know the proportions of how you should make drinks to make them taste good. Like I said, my wife bought me the Sip magazine subscription, so I looked periodically in the magazine from time to time and made a drink here or there, but a lot of those cocktails in my magazine required you to get a whole bunch of different ingredients, which I didn't have. But throughout this pandemic and throughout this challenge, I've gone out and gotten a lot of these ingredients, and I've made these exotic wild drinks, and it has been fun. But let me add, this is probably not recommended by medical professionals, especially by someone of my age. But anyway, I learned a lot. My most popular videos at Smoky Cokey. Learned about scotches, how you can have some peated scotches, which are smoky. And the Smoky Cokey is like one of the most viewed videos on my channel. And there actually is pretty bad editing in it. But I kept it that way because I wanted to be true, authentic Bibulous Brian in his rawest form in the beginning. So I've kept the Smoky Cokey video the way I edited it, which was bad. It goes back in time through one of the little clips. But like I said, I've learned a lot. I've learned to make the classic cocktails, like the Americano, the Old Fashioned, and the Negroni. I've learned to make some very different cocktails, having different types of combinations. Like, I never would have had beer in combination with liquor like the Stoicha. I never would have had wine with liqueur, which is like the Cur Royale. I never would have had that. Well, that was actually sparkling wine. So these things I've been exposed to. Some things worked, some things didn't. The most notable things that didn't work was like that tequila slammer. Tried to put the tequila in a 7-Up and slam it down, have fizz up. That didn't work. I tried it twice. But then there's some other things, like recently the Godfrey cocktail that I made that I found very enjoyable. The Uncle I found very enjoyable. And I even made a little spreadsheet. I showed it to you guys before, and it has all the drinks that I've had this year, color coded with the base liqueur. Ran into some issue though, because on multiple times this year, I had multiple drinks, and so I didn't know what color to use. Like if I had a beer and a vodka cocktail, I didn't know which color to use. I just used the beer color sometimes. Or election day in November, I had so many drinks on that day, so I just put it down as beer. Also, there's drinks that had multiple types of liquors in it, so I didn't know what to put down as a base liqueur. I just kind of chose randomly. But anyway, I had this nice, beautiful chart to remember this year by. What else do I have here on my little list that I wanted to talk to? I had some special guests. I have my family pets in a couple of my videos. I did the April 23rd Stanley Tucci spoof involving having my wife help me with that one. So you hear the voice of my wife in that one. And in some other videos, you hear my children in some videos also. So it was really fun. They join in the fun sometimes too. Not by drinking though. I learned about different liquors and liquors that I never would have even thought to have. Like I've seen like cachaça in the liquor store, but I had the Caparina, and I saw the Caparina and I decided to have it. So that's a wonderful thing that I've picked up along the way. Blackberry liqueur, the Bramble, a wonderful thing that I picked up along the way. Some things weren't so wonderful. Like I talked about it many times before, the Benedictine, the Campari, the Galliano. I didn't really like those things. So I got to get rid of them some kind of way in the future. I picked up some fans along the way. Thank you for all the support that you guys have given me. Thank you for drink recommendations. Thank you for even giving me some drinks, Superfan Jeff. But I appreciate all of it. I actually lost a subscriber. I don't know how that happened. I don't know what I did, but I did lose one. But I thank you for all the support, all the comments that I get on my videos. They're very encouraging, and I thank you. And so, I had planned my whole year around having one cocktail which I know how to order when I'm out. Like, usually when I would go out, I would get the same thing, right? I would get a rum and coke because I knew what a rum and coke is, or I would get what was on the menu, like a specialty cocktail. And I would just enjoy that. I would just enjoy the specialty cocktail that kind of looked like it was sweet and citrusy. But other than that, like, I wouldn't have ordered like old fashioned or anything like that when I was prior to this year because I didn't know them. But the one thing that I did order that I knew the ingredients of is a Long Island iced tea. And that's what I'm drinking today. So a Long Island iced tea has white rum, tequila, gin, and vodka. A half ounce of each of those ingredients. Then you add in an ounce and a half of sour mix, and this is something I enjoyed doing along this journey. I make my own sour mix now. I even made my own homemade liqueur. So an ounce and a half of sour mix, and then you top it off. Oops, I'm sorry. Also a half an ounce of Cointreau, and then you top it off with Coke. So I've used this Coke, some people call it Mexican Coke, one other time this year with the Smoky Cokey. And this Mexican Coke tastes better than your ordinary Coke out of a can, out of a plastic bottle, or even the ones with this, the bear on it, the small ones that they sell around Christmas, which I do have in the house. But this Mexican Coke tastes really good because it has the real sugar in it. Shake all that up and you put it into a Collins glass and, no, actually you don't shake up the Coca-Cola. You shake up all the liqueurs and the sour mix, pour it into a Collins glass, and then you top with the Coca-Cola. So let's get to it. And this is one of the videos which I am making without editing, other than adding a background audio to it and adding my intro scene to it. So a half ounce of tequila, oh boy, half ounce of gin. Also learned, don't get gin or anything in plastic bottles. So as soon as this is finished, I am going to get real gin. Although I do have some real gin, right? So along the way, I learned that there's Old Tom gin, which is sweeter, and sloe gin, the real sloe gin, not that mess they sell in bad liquor stores. So I do have some real gin in the house. A half ounce of white rum. I have 5 rums now in the house. It's another thing that I have done throughout this challenge is I've picked up a whole bunch of different types of the same spirit. Vodkas, rums, gins, and tequilas. Where was I? Oh, I haven't done the vodka. Half ounce of the vodka. Half ounce of the Cointreau or triple sec. And then an ounce and a half of the sour mix. Homemade sour mix. Which tastes so much better than the roses, sweetened lime, and that I used to drink in the beginning of this challenge, and the grenadine. You know, I got the the real grenadine now. So many things I've learned throughout this. So I got everything thus far, right? So shake and strain. Oh boy, there we go. Strain into your Collins glass. Then top with the Mexican Coke. Oops, looks like something is in my drink here. Anyway, there you have it. A Long Island iced tea. Prost, my friends, and Happy New Year. This is one of the best drinks that has ever been created. Simply wonderful. Sour mix, Coca-Cola, and the 4 liquors and Cointreau. Unbelievably tasty. Now, while this is the end of the year, this is not the end of Bibless Brian. I will continue to make videos, not necessarily every day, but 2021 will still bring more Bibless Brian videos. I intend to try more cocktails, things that I didn't get to in 2020, and do a lot of beer reviews. And just keep going on. And I want everyone to know, well, I hope everyone understands, the calendar is flipping over to 2021. I still encourage everyone to be safe. Stay safe out there. The pandemic is not over yet. Stay safe so you can see your loved ones through the end of this pandemic, because it will end. It will end someday. The 1918 flu pandemic ended at some point, and this will end. But continue to be safe, take all precautions when you go out, and keep the faith that it will end. Again, Prost. And of course, I would end my videos with see you tomorrow, folks. I'm actually going to see you later on tonight because I have another cocktail I'm going to have. But in the future, I probably won't say see you tomorrow because I don't think I'll make a video every day. Although it's tempting. It's tempting. But I will see you later, folks.